Hey guys, welcome back. It's your favorite Gimp with a Limp, and I'm here with something special. Actually, a little treat for myself. We're going to play some Aliens, Another Glorious Day in the Corps. Gotta love Marine Corps. Aliens, one of the best movies that was ever made back when Hollywood actually put out good movies instead of the garbage they put out nowadays. Anyone else remember when Captain Marvel released and they're like, oh my god, it's the first female-led superhero movie, female hero movie and all this other crap. And it's like, did you forget about Miss Ripley? Awesome chick. Just like destroyed it in the box office. She killed it, killed the role, did a great job. And it's like, pay attention to her. She killed aliens. And she did an awesome job at this. And she didn't have superpowers. She wasn't flinging fusion crap. She was just out there with a pulse rifle, and a flamethrower, duct taped together, and was killing everything. Anyway, we're going to jump into the game. This first video is going to be a quick overview of the game and maybe first part of the first turn or so, depending on how quickly we go over the overview of it. All right, so the scenario that I'm playing, I tried to pick a quick one. Something I could play through relatively quickly so I can get other stuff to the board, but it's from the expansion. Okay, so you have the base box of the game, which is Another Glorious Day in the Corps, and then there's a couple expansions for the game. So you've got, let me grab it, Ultimate Badasses, which just adds experience to your Marines, the ability to have like some levels that they gain, and 6 extra Marines, which should have been in the base game in the first place. And then the other expansion is Get Away From Her, You Bitch, and that is the expansion that adds the oh so lovely Queen to the game and the loader. To be honest with you, I would have almost rather seen this just be all packaged together into one game, make it more expensive or something. I don't know. It's the first game, just if the base game itself, I don't think is enough to really qualify. There's plenty of game in it, but especially if you want to do the campaign, and the campaign's cool, but there's only 3 campaign missions in the base game, and it doesn't include the entirety of the movie. To have that, you got to get the expansion, and that adds all these extra missions. So in the first one, just the base game, you've got the first 3 missions, which is Nuke, Escape, and then Survive. But then it adds the others where it's Retrieve, Newt, and then Sulaco, where you're trying to take out the Queen and do all the other cool stuff from the movies. And then a bunch of Bug Hunt missions, which are basically one-offs, right? That you'll just play for fun, stuff like that. And then there's missions like rescue or get supplies. Because in this game, what's really cool is the fact that if you're playing a campaign, your guys can be captured and impregnated, right? So they can be captured by the aliens, taken off to the hive. Well, you can play a mission where you try to get that Marine back, or whoever was taken, you try to get them back. That's really interesting that they have that in there. I like that inclusion. But you do have to get the expansion to, I think the rescue mission is in the base game, but stuff like the APC, which is what we're going to be using here, that's only in the expansion, right? There's so much stuff that's in the expansion that really just should be in the game. So many of the main characters are in the expansions, right, that aren't in the main game. Bishop is not included in the base game. He's in the Queen expansion. Dietrich, right? You got not Dietrich, Drake. Drake's in the expansion. He's in the Badass expansion. I mean, there's so many main things that I think should have just been in there. I don't know. Maybe they like breaking it down this way, but it's really like you can't get the full experience unless you buy everything. The one good part, though, is if you did buy everything, they did give you a bonus pack that had 3D models for some of the tokens, like the crates and the eggs and the little sentry guns, which is a nice addition, but I don't know if they're doing that anymore after they ran out. I think that was like an initial bonus that they did. So anyway, the basic gist of the game is you're going to have 6 Marines, generally speaking, for each mission. Sometimes things might change up or your Marines get killed off. Maybe you don't have enough to field a full squad there towards the end of your campaign. But generally, you're going to have 6. and you're going to control these, and you're going to attempt to accomplish whatever mission it is. Now, for us, we are doing the APC chase. So you see there at the top, it shows what I have out here on the board. So we're only going to have 2 map boards on the table at any one time. And the way this is going to work is as the APC moves forward, we're going to keep dropping off and moving it around to, kind of signify the fact that we're moving through the tunnel. It's to recreate the scene of the movie. This scene.
On! Get in the goddamn door! Eat this! Ripley! Go, go, go! It's all right, we're clear! Ripley, you blow the transaxle! You're just grinding metal! Come on, ease down! Ease down.
So yeah, if you guys just saw that scene, it means I said screw copyright and just went in and put it in there anyway and just let Fox take all my money, the $1 that I'd make for this video. But you're recreating that scene from this. So Ripley's driving and they're trying to get out of the alien infestation. Really, one of my favorite scenes in the movie where she just goes badass and helps get the Marines out, and Gorman's being a little puss. But on the back of the sheet, it shows down on the mission goal, what you're attempting to do, any things that happen if you're playing this as part of a campaign mission. Because this one, you notice, doesn't say mission whatever. So it's not part of the 1 through 5, but you can interject this in between 2 missions to signify the fact that it took place, whenever it took place in the movie. I think it's between like 2 and 3, the mission would happen. So as we go along with our little APC here, so we've got a little driver spot, we've got some gunner turrets. There's a front gun turret, the rear gun turret, and then the door gunner, which I've got as one of my favorite characters, Vasquez. She's freaking awesome. She's in the doorway. Doorway starts off closed, but she can open it and shoot out. But if she does open it, it means the aliens can get in. So you got to be careful about that. And I've got, let's see, I've got Apone. He's in here. Hicks. Apone's one of my favorites. Hicks is my absolute favorite. Ripley, one of the favorites. I mean, they're all my favorites. Frost is friggin' awesome. Vasquez, and then Hudson, because Hudson's good at tech, even though I kind of thought Hudson was a little bit of a puss in the movie. So as the APC pushes forward, we'll get onto this map board. Once we're on this map board, we'll slide it back, take this map board, put it back over here in the front, and keep going. The turn counter in this actually signifies not what turn we're on, but what board we're on. So we're going to keep going on this until we get to board number 6, and that's where the exit's going to be. So that's our goal, to drive through 6 boards and get off. And then we will have these little spawn points that keep spawning aliens who will keep coming out and turning into little, well, they'll start off as blips, which are these, but as soon as the game starts, I'm going to flip those over and they'll turn into these aliens, and we're going to squish those little guys. All right, so there's a couple things we're going to go over. Over here to the right, I've got all our cards set up. The motion tracker deck. This is really easy to understand. You're going to draw these cards and they're going to spawn your alien blips on the board, okay? depending on how many blips are shown on the card, is going to be how hard the card is. So you have easy, medium, and hard cards. For this mission, we have 5 level 1, 5 level 2. They're shuffled together to create 10 starting cards. So it starts off a little easier, and then the rest of the deck is shuffled in there. I do have some from the expansions shuffled in, with the exception of the queen cards, because obviously the queen doesn't spawn here. Same with our exhaustion or endurance deck, rather. This is used to represent ammo and supplies and weapons and all that stuff. So a real neat idea that they came up with this game is that as you go along through your campaign, you're going to burn cards from this deck, shooting and blowing up things and breaking your armor and all that type stuff. Well, as they get exhausted, sometimes they'll get recycled and shuffled back over here into the endurance side, but then sometimes they get actually discarded. And in between missions, you only get back so many of those cards that are put into the discard pile. So this deck's going to get smaller and smaller as you go on through your missions. So you have to really think about all the shots that you take, everything that you do, because the cards matter. Now, it's not going to matter for us. We're going to just blow through it because it's not going to be a campaign mission. But if you are playing a campaign, that is the way that it's going to keep track of how quickly you're burning through your supplies. Obviously, I got a big stack of blips over here. We're going to randomly draw those to represent aliens coming out on the board. Real quick thing on the models. You'll notice I didn't paint these. It's not that I didn't want to. I just didn't have enough time. I've got another project that I'm working on that's being painted currently, and I just didn't have enough time to get them all painted up. Something I did think worked really well for the aliens, though, if you guys can notice, I did just a little light dry brushing, a little gray on some of these alien models, because they're black to begin with. And I mean, the aliens are already colored black, so you really don't need to prime them or do anything like that. But just a little light gray dry brushing makes some of the features stand out a little bit better. These guys, you're going to have to fully paint, prime them, do the whole nine. But the aliens can be dry brushed very quickly to have them board ready and be good to go. Now over here, before each mission, you're going to have to outfit your troops. You're going to have to figure out what weapons you want them using, what armor, what equipment, any grenades, all that good stuff. So you get to pick how to outfit out your guys. So each person will have so many pieces of equipment that they're going to have. And then if you have the expansions, they can have these hero cards that give them extra bonus abilities. Now, here's the thing. Before we start talking about the specific gear, these cards, these player boards here, have two different sides. And let me grab Mr. Drake as a good example here. Drake, this is his hero side. But if you flip it over, this is his grunt side. So for each person who's playing the game, they get a hero board, but then to round out your squad, you're going to put it onto the grunt side, which is weaker. And that's the thing. I was kind of debating with myself, well, how does that affect the difficulty? Because it just seems like it arbitrarily makes it harder on you just to make your characters grunt. If you're playing it solitaire like I'm playing it, why wouldn't I just make all my characters heroes, right? And reading through the rules, going it over again and again just to make sure I was getting everything right. I think that really comes down just to the motion tracking cards, because there is a phase where you draw motion tracking cards and you're going to draw cards for each person who's playing the game. But it has a little addendum that if you're playing a 1 or 2 player game, that each player is going to draw 2. Now, technically, I'm playing a 1-player game, but it doesn't really seem fair for me to just draw 1 or 2 cards, rather, as a 1-player game. So I have 2 hero characters, and the rest of these characters are going to be my grunts. So Hicks is controlling these 2, Apone is controlling these 2. So each one of these guys will draw 2 cards. And I think that's a way you can kind of self-adjust the difficulty. And it's not even really house ruling it as much, just deciding on how difficult you want your game to be, what works for you. If you want to play it solitaire and have every one of your characters be heroes, you can do that. And if you want an easier game, draw less motion tracker cards. draw 4 cards rather than 6, or 3 cards rather than 6, if you're having a really hard time with it, just depending. Or if you want a harder game, then play your characters as so many heroes, so many grunts, and then draw a motion tracker card for each character. That's a way that I think you can adjust it for yourself for how much difficulty you do want the game to have. I'm trying it, like I said, kind of middle of the road. 2 heroes, 4 grunts, 2 cards for each. We'll see if that's a little too difficult on whether or not they succeed at this mission. And just to show you guys the rest of the character boards before I show you the ones that I picked, we've got Drake, awesome. Gorman, he finds his balls at the end of the movie. We've got Newt, because of course she's going to be a major part. She can't have weapons, obviously, but she can have equipment cards equipped to her. Crow wasn't in the movie too much. He just kind of blows up. And Wizbowski, because he gets drug off and impregnated with alien stuff. He's in there. Carter Burke, of course, we know he's a tool, and he can actually have weapons, which is kind of interesting. But you'll notice each one of these guys do have special abilities. He draws an endurance card at the end of the activation reveal card, and then depending on what type of card that is, and we'll go over this, but it's events, equipment, weapon, or hazard cards, will have him do something else. So he's kind of a hit or miss on whether or not he's good to have with you. But that still happens on his grunt side as well. So, yeah. Dietrich, she wasn't in the movie as much. And then we have Enraged Ripley. So this is obviously one from the expansion. So when she's going to get Newt, or Newt gets captured, Ripley goes from regular Ripley, which I do have over here, to Enraged Ripley, which is just freaking awesome. And let's see what abilities she has. Exhaust 5 endurance cards and take 3 actions. This is activation. Ooh, that's really cool. Passive, you may equip an M240 flamethrower as a backup weapon. So in other words, she can do the pulse rifle and flamethrower thing, which is just cooler than hell. And the backside, grunt side of her is just regular Ripley as well. And then Bishop. This is one, the synthetic. I really think he should have been in the main game. Not have him in the main game is bad. Of course, he has the highest tech level. He does count as a synthetic, and there are a few special abilities for synthetics, but you'll notice, just like in the movie, Bishop does not use weapons. And then his grunt side does have a few special abilities, but still retains a 7 in tech, which is really high. You're going to use tech to do things like interact with computer panels or drive the APC. All right, so like I said, here's all my characters and the equipment that they have. Of course, I've got my boy, Hicks, absolute favorite. He's awesome. And he has pulse rifle and his shotgun. There's only one of those included. Shotgun has a special ability, gain -1 to your defense rolls. In this game, rolling low is good for you, so you want to roll under numbers. Like his defense roll, there's not 9, 6. So he wants to roll under that. He gets a -1 to that. But we gave him the hero ability of other characters within 2 spaces. Character gain -1 to their defense roll. So we kind of boost that up a little more. His tech's not too good, but his aim's great. Passive, or his on activation, you may draw an endurance card. But his passive is once per turn, exhaust a card from your hand. So hero characters can have a hand of cards to re-roll Hicks's failed attack roll. That's why I put him in the gun turret of the APC, so he can start putting those rounds down range. Now, the neat thing with this game is you have this aim dial, right? And this basically represents how well they can shoot. Well, you notice he's got a 7, so he's wanting to roll equal to or under 7. Well, considering that's a D10, he's got a pretty good chance to hit. The only thing is every time you shoot, you're going to be lowering that aim dial. So your aim's going to go down. That has to do with the full auto ability that's on a lot of these weapons, like the pulse rifle. And it kind of signifies the fact that if you're just holding down the barrel or the trigger, melting the barrel, your aim's going to just keep on going down. At the start of each one of your activations, your aim goes up. You do have the ability, though, to shoot on the alien's turn, doing like a defensive shot. but your aim dial is still going to be wherever it was on your turn. So you have to kind of consider, is it best to take all my shots now? Is it best hold a little bit of aim left so I've got a chance to be defensive if a swarm's coming in? I like the way they do that. But you'll notice on these things, there is no health bar. So there's no, he's got 5 health, 6 health, anything like that. In this game, I mean, just like in the movies, you get attacked by an alien, you're more than likely not going to live through it if they get on top of you. So with this, you get hit, you get knocked down, and you can quickly get knocked out of the game. So do not let the aliens get next to you. All right, so like I said, I've also got a pawn. He's got a pulse rifle, combat knife, which helps his defense, body armor, which gives you a chance to re-roll, to fix a failed defense roll, rather. Got him with tactician, which gives him a chance to make others move more, since he's, leader character. He, I do believe, is also in one of my gun turrets. Yep. I like how they have their names listed down. Let's see if I can show it real quick. Get the light on it. Right about there. There you can see it. Apone. Their names are on their bases, which is really nice. It makes it really easy to tell the Marines apart from each other, or civilians. Ripley is part of Wayland, not one of the Marines. So he's there. We've got Hudson, has a pulse rifle, combat knife, and a helmet. He's got the hero we need. Reroll defense rolls. We'll go over all this stuff when we're doing the game. They each have their little aim dials. Ripley, she's got pulse rifle. Gave her some grenades and a helmet and the covering your 6 ability. Vasquez, awesome. Gotta love Vasquez. She obviously gets the smart gun, combat knife. Body armor, taking point, and I gave her this ability because this character exhausts 1 less card when making attacks during the Marine phase, and her passive is exhaust 2 cards instead of 3 each time you fire the smart gun. So both her and Drake get that ability, because when you're firing the smart gun, instead of exhausting 1 card, like when you fire a pulse rifle, you have to take 1 card from your endurance deck and exhaust it. You're spending ammunition. Well, with this, you spend a lot of ammunition, so you have to spend 3 cards when you take an attack action with this weapon. Thing of it is they're better with those, so they don't have to exhaust as many. Now, that special ability brings that down to 1. It also has the full auto ability, so when rolling for an attack with this weapon, you roll, or that's not for full auto, but for this one, you roll 2 dice instead of 1, discarding the highest results. So good stuff there. We also have Mr. Frost. Gave him his flamethrower and a backup pistol. So he's got something with a little bit of range on it, because the flamethrower, I think, only goes up for a distance of 2. Gunner ability, covering fire for him, and also some body armor. And like I said, got Hudson. Just bear with me if I make a small mistake here or there, because like I said, I am including some of the expansion content, which you can tell because those cards have those icons on it. So you can easily determine which cards came from which deck. Do like that they put that in there. And we've got a little summary card telling us what goes on during each one of the turns. The Marine phase, start off, resetting the aim dial, like I said. Some people have on activation, so when you activate a character, those abilities will kick in. And with hero characters and grunt characters, you'll activate the hero character, do all the crap you're going to do with them, and then they're grunts. So you see, use rank to activate grunts. Corporal Hicks has a 2, and then Sergeant, or that would be a gunny, Apone has also a 2. The only one who has a 3 is Lieutenant Gorman. He can activate 3. The rest of them are 1 or none, depending on who they are. So when he activates, that's part of the reason I chose the 2 NPCs, so they could each activate 2 grunts. So Hicks is going to activate Ripley and Vasquez, and Apone is going to activate Hudson and Frost. So, resolve all activation abilities, equipped any endurance cards. So, the hand of cards that I was saying that you can have, you notice Hicks draws cards when he activates. He can equip those cards, but you have to exhaust other cards. Everything you do in this game is about exhausting cards. So, just as an example, if he drew this shotgun, the cost of 2, if he wanted to equip it, he didn't already have it equipped, he would have to exhaust 2 cards from this deck, putting them here to signify the fact that he is equipping that card. You can let your grunts equip cards in the same manner. And then step 4, perform 2 actions. You can do 2 of anything on this list, including doing the same action twice. So you can move twice, attack twice, move and attack, move and barricade, whatever you want to do. Aim is an interesting ability. Aim allows you to increase your dial by 1. So you can pop it up, but you're going to take less shots. That's one of your actions. So it's not increase your dial and take a shot. It's just increase your dial. Resolve any end of activation abilities. Use rank to activate grunts, and then pass the activation token, which is this little symbol here. So it'll go back and forth between the 2 of them, which I am going to give to Hicks to start off for a specific reason. Because, like I said, we've got... Oh, wait, 8 pawns here. Oh, I might have to rearrange something. Wait, no. I did switch that before I started. It is not Ripley driving. Ripley's over here. It's Hudson driving. So we do want A-Pone to go first because A-Pone's here. I got Hudson driving because Hudson has the best tech ability. Everyone else is a 5. He's the only one that's got a 6. And when you're driving the APC has a few special rules. And one of them is when you activate and you try to take a move action with the APC, you have to roll and see if you pass your tech. So equal to or under. If you succeed, you get 5 movement points. You can go right along with the squares. If you fail, you only get 3 movement points. So Hudson is our best chance. I know it's not thematic with the movie, but he's our best chance to get up to 10 movement points each turn going along. Thing is, these blips are going to turn into aliens. And aliens, when they are run over by the APC, it's not as easy as it was in the movie where they just get squished. They have a chance to attack the APC and cause damage, which is where these tokens come into play, signifying damage to the APC. Anytime the APC takes damage, it reduces its ability to drive and shoot. These people over here can attempt to take repair actions to try to keep the APC moving. Also another tech thing. But again, I think driving was the better way to go. But by keeping the APC going, they can go farther. They can bail out and try to run out. So if I get close to the end and I'm, right there, and the APC's all torn to shit, I might abandon it and just try to run if I don't have enough time to try to repair it. But I would like to keep them in here because as it is, these are walls. They keep the aliens out. The aliens do have a chance, though, to break through the APC door. In the game, they can bust through barricades, just kind of like how they did in the movie. And the door for the APC, which is only located here, so they can only come in from this direction, which is why Miss Vasquez is right here, ready to go, doing her door gunner thing. They have to come in from this way, so she can lean out and shoot. But remember, like I said, if she shoots, that door is considered open, which means the aliens can come up and attack her. All right, so since I've been babbling a little bit, let's go ahead and flip these tokens, see how many aliens we have, because I think these go all the way 1 to 5, something like that. It's 1 to 4, 1 to 5, signifying how many aliens are there. And the thing is, you don't place an alien model for each alien. You place an alien model and then these tokens underneath that model for any extra alien that's there in the blip. And they're considered to be a swarm. All right, so one of these guys with 2 of these tokens represents 3 aliens that have to be killed. Cool thing is the APC can squish a whole stack and the gunner turrets can blow away a whole stack. So even if there's a whole bunch out in front here, we should be okay. Let's flip them. We got 1, not bad. We got 1, not bad. Got another one, not bad. I mean, I'd kind of rather have, a bulk of them there because I could gun turret, but I've got turrets over here too. So 2, that's all right. And 1 and 2. Okay, so little worse on this side, kind of okay on the front, but we're trying to go that way so it's less people to run over. So let's flick these tokens off and replace those with aliens. So we got alien there, there, and there to start off. And then let's grab 3 more guys for over here. And yes, there are face huggers in this game as well. Really cool stuff. All right, so this one, which is a 2, will have one of these tokens underneath it and then the alien placed on top of it. So that's considered a swarm. There are 2 aliens there. And then we'll have 1 and 2 again. Place one of these tokens right here. And then alien there. And push this token back. Boom. Vasquez has someone right there on top of her. 2 alien swarms. And then we'll mix these back into the pile. I might just grab a bowl or something so I can randomly grab these up. It'll make it a little bit easier. So yeah, we're surrounded by aliens. And remember, these spawn points will spawn more blips from those motion tracker cards as we're driving. So they're going to be attacking us the whole way. My goal, my ultimate goal, is to try to just ram through them and keep repairing the APC on my turn with the other guys to see if that can work. Try to keep the thing moving as best as I can. Because if you drop off, like the back end is done and you're switching the tiles around, any aliens that are there are gone. So you don't have to worry about them. They don't move along with you. You just have to worry about the new ones that spawn. So I'm hoping I can just race through these 6 tiles as quickly as possible. We'll pick up with turn 1 though on the next video. I'm hoping, like I said, to film this in just like 2 or 3 videos. See if we can smash through the game really quickly. You guys stay tuned for that. Y'all take care. I'll see you in the next one.